Hey girl, hey, I hope you're having a great week. And on this Self-Care Saturday talk, we are going to talk about the journey and what led me to start learning how to love myself. And, it all started coming from what I call a loveless childhood that ended up, affecting my adult relationships and causing me to look for love wherever I could find it, but to no avail, right? So, I come from a single mother household that, unfortunately my mother didn't know how to love herself, so she couldn't properly love me. I also didn't know who my father was, and I still to this day don't know him, and I don't think he knows that I exist. I have tried to find him in different ways, and I have had no luck. So I think at this point it is what it is, and I'll just, leave things alone, and see what, the future holds. Although my grandma and, my grandfather and my aunts and uncles did try to love me and give me, attention and affection and stuff like that throughout my life, I just never felt fulfilled totally with that, because I was always felt like I was missing this key thing that I wanted, right? I wanted to have this awesome relationship with my mother where we would go and do these like mother and daughter dates and different things like that. And, always felt like a piece was missing because I didn't know who my father was, and I didn't, have a father. So always like felt that was a missing piece as well for me. And that led me to watching the different TV shows, right? And all these cartoons or, Disney shows and things like that, and Dirty Dancing and Pretty Woman, all of my favorite shows when I was a kid, or a young adult, always showed like the prince coming to save the day. And so I had that kind of like in my mind that Prince Charming was going to come and save me. And unfortunately, after having a lot, loveless relationships, romantically loveless relationships, never finding what I was truly, looking for, I have, finally figured out that after my divorce, God showed me like no one was going to come and save me, that I had to save myself. In order to save myself, I had to stop putting this responsibility on others, right? Because I was always looking for others to fill my cup up. I was looking for them, as I mentioned, like that Prince Charming to come and save me. And I didn't really have a good example of it growing up, to say that I didn't have an example that this was true, but I also didn't have an example of anything else neither, really. So all these, the different relationships that I've had kind of just kept me feeling empty, dissatisfied, and all I wanted to ever feel was loved, valued, and accepted, because I didn't really feel that growing up. So in order to do that, the first thing that I had to start with on my journey was I started to heal. I had to heal through all these past traumas and go through what, made me feel unloved and different things like that. And why did I continue, repeating some of the same cycles that I repeated, and what I really, came to realize as well is that we can't truly expand and become the best versions of ourselves if we are still holding on to that baggage from our past. So we have to truly heal the past, relieve it, let it go, and for us to really be able to step into this new, renewed mindset, renewed life that we are trying to create. At least I'm trying to create. So the healing was the first thing that I had to do. Now, I do want to say that I didn't prioritize this list in any way, but I definitely would say that healing is number one. Second thing that I had to do was I had to take control over my mindset. I never really realized that all of the thoughts that we think every day truly were not always ours. You know, our thoughts come from the things that we watch, the people who we talk to, the things that we listen to on the radio, and everything else, right? So our thoughts that we think is just a mixture of everything that we are consuming. So it's important to consume good things, because if not, then we will be filled with negative things that come up. And you know, before I used to really like to watch a lot of like drama filled stuff, or I would love to watch what is it, the police shows and detective shows, and you know, things like that. And so I always had like these kind of crazy thoughts that was coming through. And, you know, on my journey of learning how to love myself, I learned that I could no longer accept all the thoughts as my own. And the first thing that I had to do in order to really figure out what thoughts I wanted to keep and what thoughts I wanted to rebuke was I really had to figure out what this new version of myself is going to look like. What do I want? You know, what does this person think about? How does she want to show up in the world? What does she want to do for a living? Like different things like that. So then you know, okay, well, that thought does not align with where I want to go. So we're not going to accept that thought anymore. And that's how it was. You know, you rebuke it. And sometimes, you know, I'll be honest, for a while it was tough to do this, but I'm going to put it out here. Depending on your situation. But you can also, like when you get in a thought and you're saying, okay, I'm going to rebuke that. I don't want that. That no longer aligns with me. Sometimes what you can do if you're thinking of it is you can replace it with something that you do want, a positive thought of where you want to go. And just continue doing that. It's good. It's going to take some time. Okay. And I think it's actually going to be a practice that you're going to constantly have to do, because like if you don't work on your mindset, you don't work on these things, then of course it's just going to get filled with clutter and to collect things that we don't want to collect necessarily. So we have to keep these things clear and clean and continue working towards where we truly want to go. The third thing I would say is boundaries. Now, make sure that you keep strong in your boundaries, especially your non-negotiable boundaries. Those are non-negotiable for you for a reason. That's what your soul says that is important to you. That's what you want. And so don't allow anybody to come in and try to say, well, no, that's not important, or anything to kind of allow you to take those walls down around those boundaries. Don't do that, because the boundaries that we set for ourselves is actually to protect us. And I had to learn the hard way of this. And so, yes, now my boundaries are my boundaries, and it doesn't matter if the person who you're setting this boundary with doesn't respect it, then they truly don't love you and they're truly not for you. And this could be for a family, friend, lover, whoever. Whoever does not respect your boundaries is not for you, and don't accept it. The fourth thing is health and fitness. So, you know, we want to feel our best. We want to look our best. In order to do that, we need to have a health and fitness routine where we are, you know, cooking ourselves healthy meals. We are taking some time out of the day, maybe not every day, but, you know, 3 to 5 times a week, I would say, to move your body around in some capacity or not, to get the energy moving. And, you know, it helps relieve stress. It helps keep your mindset positive. I mean, there's just so many positives to having a fitness routine and to eat healthy. It's kind of crazy why people don't do it more often. You know, we all have to start when we're ready, but I would definitely suggest you to get a health and fitness routine as soon as possible so you can start feeling better from the inside out. That fitness may look like, especially if you don't have a fitness routine and you're not really used to it. Start off with 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day to go for a walk, to do a little dance class, to, do yoga, do stretching, do something to move your body and to start feeling better. And as you get, comfortable with that 10 minutes of whatever you're going to choose to do, then you can start building from there. Because how do I want to say this? So basically what I'm trying to say is we all start with just trying something, right? But as we continue doing it, it becomes a habit. So as we start getting strong in our beliefs and in our systems and stuff like that, then they become habits. And guess what? That 10 minutes is going to just not even feel like it's hard anymore, right? It's just going to be a habit, and that's just something that you're going to do. So start small and build from there, so then you can grow those habits. The next thing that I want to suggest is having a hobby that makes you feel good and kind of allows you to bring out some more of your creativity and things like that. Now, to be honest, my hobby was always like a fitness related thing. I would really enjoy, like when I first kind of started, I was really big into Zumba and Zumba classes and learning Zumba moves and things like that. And then eventually over the years, I ended up really enjoying CrossFit workouts. And so I joined a CrossFit gym and started getting more involved in the CrossFit world and things like that. So, if you are looking to do more things like maybe with your hands and stuff like that, I would definitely, figure out, what do you enjoy? Do you enjoy gardening? Do you enjoy painting, baking, sewing? There's just so many different things that you can do now, crocheting. You have to really just figure out what you would like to do and what would bring you joy, right? Because you want to do things that bring you joy and bring out the best version of you. And so I would also say, if you're going to do something like, baking or painting or gardening, or depending on how old your kids are too, it's all up to your discretion, but get your kids involved if you can. If you're a mama, they would probably really enjoy it, especially the younger they are, to get them involved. Like, it turns more into a habit, and then they won't be so resistant to want to do these things with you. So definitely, start them as young as you possibly can and start doing something. And kind of also, we don't talk about this enough, and unfortunately, we're really not taught, even at least I wasn't, about like self-love and self-care and the importance of it. So I think it's really important for us as parents, or aunts and uncles or whatever, to really start like talking about this and making it a part of a normal conversation, and to help bring the younger generations growing up, they wanting to learn how to love themselves and care for themselves, and not feel that it is a burden, or maybe really even feel that it's important, right? The more we talk about it and we explain why we're doing these things, then maybe they will put a priority on them and feel that okay, these things are important, so then they can go and do that for themselves, and then their kids will follow suit as well, right? So we're trying to create some new dynamics within the family, and I think this is really important to do. And so the next thing is create a routine. Create a routine that makes you feel good and make sure that you can make it a priority, right? You don't want to do something overwhelming where you do it for a little while and you crash and burn and can't continue. And this is a great other section where I would say start small. Start with just maybe taking 10 to 15 minutes in the morning earlier to wake up a little early, have, your coffee or tea or whatever you like to do to drink in the morning, and then to journal. right? Just something simple as that. Or wash your face, or, like having a skin routine, or, whatever that thing that you really want to do in the morning that would brighten up your day and help you ease into your day better. What worked for me may be different for you. So whatever you want to do. Also would suggest, especially when you're first starting, or maybe not exactly when you're first starting, but sometimes when you start something, right? And it takes a little bit for the work to kind of like, where you can see the difference of what your work is doing. And so, just like when we're trying to lose weight, right? It's not all instantly. You're not gonna, lose 20 pounds in a week and say, yep, okay, here we are. So this is going to take some time to create the routine and to see the benefits of it. So, sometimes we feel a little burned out because because we're not seeing the benefits yet of this routine. So try to, when you get to this point, try to romanticize it. Or if you're having even a hard time starting and you're not thinking like, oh, this is going to be like, you don't feel that this is an important part of something that you should try to do, then I would try to romanticize that as well. Like, light candles, play some soft music if you're trying to relax and like go to bed, or, have some calm time, or play some upbeat music if you're trying to get going and to, get enough energy to maybe work out or get up and do something extra that you need to do that you don't really feel like doing, just trying to get you more motivated to do it. That upbeat music sometimes, at least for me, it's a little helpful to get up because you're like, okay, you're feeling the music. You're like, okay, I could do this. Yeah, let's go. And then you start. I also used fancy glassware to put my drinks in while I was making dinner because, sometimes I don't enjoy cooking a meal. And sometimes, it was just a lot of work, especially when my kids were at their dad's house, to like want to cook and dirty all these dishes just for a meal for myself. So sometimes, I had to try to put that different spin on and use my fancy glassware and just try to really make the atmosphere something special and something that I wanted to do for myself. And then also dressing up for yourself, right? I learned a hard lesson during during COVID. That with everything being shut down, the kids were home, I was home, I was being the teacher, the wife, the parents, and I don't know, whatever other hat I was wearing at that time. It was just a bit overwhelming. I just basically lived in my loungewear a lot because I wasn't going anywhere. So, I didn't really feel the importance of me getting myself ready, but really it did a number. It made me feel lazy, didn't make me feel motivated to work out. I gained a lot of weight because I was just snacking and just feeling like crap a lot. So I would definitely say dress up as much as you can because, when you are dressing up for yourself and you're just feeling good, you're less likely to sit on the couch and grab those chips or cookies or whatever the case may be that you'd like to maybe snack on and just, kind of lay around all day to do that. So you'll be less likely to do that and more likely to do something more upbeat for yourself, right? And you won't be so quick to just want to take a nap or whatever that case may be. Now, those are the 6 things that I have started with in order to kind of create and learn how to love myself after having some hardships in my life. Now that I have learned how to love myself, I will never stop doing this because I see that I'm a whole new person when I prioritize my happiness over everything else. And sometimes, people will say that is selfish, but honestly, if you aren't prioritizing yourself, then you can't show up properly for your kids, for your husband, for your family, for your friends, for your employer. You just can't. You'll just feel exhausted, frustrated, unfulfilled, and it just will seep into all areas of your life and lead you to depression, anxiety, and so forth. And so I've learned a lot of hard lessons, and I'm glad that I have overcome some of them with learning how to love myself. And like I said, I'll never allow myself to stop doing that, no matter what anybody says, because sometimes people want to try to shame you or make you feel guilty of that. But nope, don't allow anybody's self-limiting beliefs go on to your belief system and make you think that you are not doing something important for yourself, because this self-love journey is going to be the most important journey of your life. Because if you can't love yourself, then who can love you? And if you can't love yourself, then how are you going to love others, including your children? And it's really important. So I hope that this was helpful for you, and I can't wait to see you next week. Have a great one. Bye.